Okay, we're live and kind of weathered through this storm somewhat. Spent yesterday watching Storm Chasers live broadcast for almost the whole thing. He went from, I don't know, 7 o'clock in the morning till 9. And there he is, Mr. Big Country. How'd you fare up there by Reedsville and up there? Actually, no, you're from Ruffin. We ain't doing too bad here. We still got power, and the only thing we got is I don't even think got a half inch of sleet or snow where we are here. Yeah, so far we've been fortunate. I know Tennessee, well, Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee got a lot of snow. I don't know about freezing rain. A couple people that show up on a regular basis are from Tennessee. I was hoping you uh, drop a line, seeing what happened up that way towards Virginia. Right now, it's not doing nothing. Had a light snow and some sleet. Yeah, that's how we are down here, a little south of Greensboro. You know, uh, all right, Rochester. Yeah. Well, it's pretty cold down here. I don't think it was 17 degrees when I got up this morning, which is unusual for us. It's not very good when temperature drops that low here. But we were more nervous of the ice storms, which they may come tonight a day late. They were supposed to come last night, the freezing rain and the ice, which would have taken the power out. And if they did show up like they predicted last night, um, I may have not, I may have not had power or internet access. But so far, so good. Knock on a little wood here. Uh, Things are not that bad. Yes, thank you. But like I said, I watched the Storm Chaser live broadcast here on YouTube most of the day yesterday. I was getting some other videos uploaded and that, but I watched that. In Texas, Louisiana, uh, Oklahoma, and that, the storms really did a job up into Tennessee. And I guess, going up towards Ohio, we got somebody here from Rochester. I guess New York State's in the middle of a huge snowfall right at the moment, all the way up to Maine. But not so much the snowfall here, it was the freezing rain, where the way the weather is in that, if the power lines go down, it could be days, and like he said, some places weeks before you could get power back on again. Okay, but fortunately, right at the moment, it doesn't look like that. Here, our state or where I live has not been hit. But now, if you go further east, the freezing rain, it's weird. The freezing rain, say another 20-minute drive east and towards the state capital in the southeast, uh, has freezing rain, and that could be problematic for the people who live in that area. But other than that, watching some of the SHOT Show coverage, I guess that was this week or whatever. It ended yesterday or today or something. Not quite sure. A lot of interesting things there. Not really a lot of new things or spectacular things like last year. Had a whole bunch of stuff, but more people. Uh, yeah. See, I don't have a generator, so I'm kind of not in a good position. Never hooked one up. It'd be second time in the 20 years I've lived here I've had to face something like this. But back to the SHOT Show. A lot of suppressors and people making, a lot. That's the big thing. Because with the tax stamp gone, I guess they believe they're going to sell them. They should just eliminate them from being registered and sell them like any other accessory. Uh, but who knows? Yeah, they didn't really mention Canada. I know this winter storm is going up into the Northeast, New York, Maine, and everything up there, and Ohio is getting a ton of snow. The problem is with us is if it's an ice storm, the freezing rain and the ice storms, that's where you're going to lose power. That's where the trees collapse. I've lived through this once living here, and you could lose power for a week or more. And, the roads are impassable when the trees fall on them. Okay, it was a disaster at one time. It was close to almost a week without power for me. So we're hoping that won't happen again. And that also, it got warmer shortly after the ice storm. The temperature got warm, so like 2 or 3 days, I was able to go out and travel on the roads and get gas, get some stuff. But you can't move with the ice storm, and now with this, it's not going to get warm. So if there is a good coating of ice and stuff goes down, it's going to be weeks before they can do it. Yeah, they had them here, $1,000. They were selling generators down here. A lot of people got them hooked up or ready. Oh yeah, that's New York. Family up there, they said this year just a lot more snow, but it's the ice. See, here, if it snowed, even if it snowed a foot, which is unusual, okay, snow is one thing. It's the ice storms. We're in a geographic area where you get a heavy rain, freezing rain, with it being as cold as it has been and as cold as it will be. You're talking a disaster on a terrible scale. All right, there he is from Hickory. Half inch. Do you get any power outages? I mean, we had basically nothing here all day south of Greensboro, and then it snowed a bit in the morning when I got up around 3. It was light snow, and then it was sleeting for a little bit. But I don't even have an inch accumulation of anything here at the house. Dusting of snow, maybe a little ice coating on it from the sleet. But as of now, the weather's good. But half inch of ice at Hickory. Yeah, you got hit with that belt that come across. Tennessee got blasted yesterday, at least with snow. I don't know about the ice, but Texas and that got hit bad. Oh, but nothing yet. They say we may have ice later on in the evening going into Monday. All right, nothing in Oregon. They're worse? Okay, yeah. Because when I was watching the Storm Chasers, the very far western edge of North Carolina was in that when it was coming up into Tennessee, going to Nashville. That's where it showed the ice storm or freezing rain was on that edge there. So it must have spilled over in the nighttime further east because we don't have ice here, at least not exactly. And I'm not going to look either, but everything's been fine and pretty mild. And let me look at this weather thing. Let's take a look. Yeah, Asheville, it's showing where this is going to get hit. It's kind of thin. And what, where Knoxville is, and it came down to Asheville by 11 or 12. It should be clear. The snow's coming to Charlotte, Concord, and we're going to get something up by me around noon, a little precipitation, I believe. But looking Statesville. All right, Hickory looks clear. At noon, you got something passed through you there, and there's a big spot, but by 11, still a little participation, but by noon you should be somewhat in the clear. Of course, I don't know how reliable this stupid thing is. By then we should be getting something, but by 1, yeah, we're gonna get something 1 o'clock or so. Yeah, it showed that. It showed the ice on a very western part of the state, which nobody even talks about the mountains or what has happened after the flooding and all that disaster there. You don't hear about that anymore. But in the meantime, there was more stuff up there in Minnesota, Minneapolis, another incident. Saturday morning, another demonstrator, unfortunately, was fatally shot. And now that's going to spark an uprising. And already the left is saying, well, he was a, licensed gun owner, and they're trying to spin it that it's just a gun owner that was attacked by ICE and everything else, which part of the prerequisite of getting a concealed carry permit or the rules that you're supposed to abide by once you are issued one is not to go to demonstrations, parades, or political rallies carrying a firearm. Concealed carry permit kind of don't give you the right. Of course, being concealed, how would they know until something happens? No, but I'm waiting to see one of the other people who usually come to the chats from Tennessee. I see both of the guys I know where both of you fellows live in North Carolina. I was wondering if I'd see you guys pop up, and you did, so that answers that question. But there's a fellow I know up in Tennessee that shows up all the time, and he's not here, and I don't think he will be. Things were not good up there on 40 going across into Tennessee and Kentucky. Morning, Joe. That's a good idea. And take the little squirrel with you too. He's probably cold. But yeah, we'll wait and see. But that that Storm Chasers, that's what they showed, how it went up that way. Kind of lucky. It was supposed to come down across North Carolina and the parts of Georgia and the northwestern part of South Carolina was supposed to have it bad, but apparently that didn't happen. They're waiting to see if, tonight it changes. Not quite sure, because the storm is quite extensive, and this whole system isn't going away. It's going to circulate some more stuff here. Should have. There you go. You got a new pet. Yeah, so this thing is constantly going from up there in Oregon or whatever and coming down and looping around through Texas. And I guess when it comes down to the Gulf, it bounces it back up. Well, what kind of tips are you looking for? Okay, in the middle surplus market. Really, things are trickling in, but mostly, Swiss rifles are showing up. They're not exactly in pristine, but they're serviceable guns. Swiss rifles are coming in. Makarovs are coming in from Bulgaria. Polish P64s are around. Them Yugoslav M70 32s, there's a bunch of them. The Berettas, where they threaded the thing on, there's still those flying around. The M30, was it 35s or 32s? And I got one, they're not bad. You still got prices on them, they're low. And just Beretta 84s, used ones, I believe, are still around. Atlantic Firearms has a lot of things. I don't know what AIM or JG Wholesale is running. And Yugos pop up. Yugoslav Mausers pop up here and there. But other than that, really, I don't know what's coming in. I haven't looked. I've been fooling around a lot with retro stuff, and I guess H&R at the SHOT Show, they're going to make some other things I want to jump on. So I got to kind of concentrate my money in that on some more of these items that aren't that inexpensive. But as far as stuff like that, not quite sure. Oh, that's interesting. That's a good tip. No, that I haven't. I have to look at the Japanese Type 100 clones. Well, you always go to the gun broker. If you're looking for stuff like that, the gun broker, if you want to fool around with Royal Tiger, they got a ton of stuff in that category. I know people that go with that Hunter's Lodge. There's several guys out there that just constantly buy stuff from them that are all project guns. Okay. You have to look around for that. I don't fool with any of that at all. If it's broken or has parts missing, I've given up on that, because there are some guns I bought that are missing parts and pieces, and I mean, it took me 3-4 years to find them, to get them working again. Yeah, I know that. I lived in upstate New York. Okay, but we rarely, if ever, we had an ice storm once back in the 90s. that if you look at New York and that shaped like that, the ice storm hit the northern part by the border of Canada up in there along St. Lawrence, and it crippled that whole part of the state. I mean, it went on. People didn't have power for 2 months. You got to remember, sections of New York are pretty desolate, and once the high power lines get damaged and that, you're kind of screwed. And you got to go through wilderness to repair stuff. Okay, out in the middle of nowhere with the ice and the freezing cold, them people were shit out of luck for months. It was not good. You know, see, it depends. Up in New York, we get snow, it goes to minus 27, minus 40, and life goes on. Okay, here it's you're talking a total different climate and a total different thing. This ice is nasty. And I mean, when we had the last one, trees fall across the damn roads. And, you could try to travel 5 miles and even have 6 large trees completely blocking the road in that 5 mile stretch. Okay. And unless somebody's got a chainsaw with them and starts cutting it up and drags it out of the way for you, you ain't going nowhere. Yeah, that's the way it was up in New York. Yeah, and what the parts kits are going for now are crazy. It's insane what I've seen. Frozen Tundra, PA. All right, pawn shops. I usually don't frequent them that much. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's what I mean. Snowstorm, like they said, if it just snowed here, it's no big deal. It's a freezing rain and ice storm. That's going to be bad. Pre-recession. Yep, in Phoenix, they weren't on the storm chaser thing. Yeah, because it's not good. Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma. Ugh. Yes, it is. 9 millimeters is probably the cheapest ammunition you can buy. That's where Blind Sniper did a thing on the least expensive ammo to get, which of course 22 long rifle and 9 millimeter. I mean, it's a little over 200 US dollars for a case. You're looking at 230, 240 to get it shipped for 1,000 rounds. And S&B is down there. That's the one they're always selling. Well, I had a little bit of it out there, but it's going to be. I went out one day, test fired some stuff, and I mean I froze. It was bad, and it ain't going to happen this week or the next week or anything. I got a bunch of guns I want to shoot, but I can't do it. I won't be able to drive up there probably all this week, and then when it's 17 degrees out, ain't good. Yeah, yeah, it's the lowest I've seen it in a long time. I don't think it's ever going to go any lower. So, if you got some extra cash, now would be the time to stock up on nine. I think I got I think I got 2 cases there in the back. Not even open yet. The 9. But never hurts to get another one. I split a half case with my buddy, or a case, I believe. Yeah, yeah, I got 500 of them zinc-plated steel-cased rounds somewhere. Headed above zero today. Yeah, they're still out there protesting, though, all having fun. Yeah, actually, I went out and I did fire it. It's pretty cool. I had that one stupid scope that the eye relief, and when you throw the quick disconnect lever, you couldn't reach the charging handle in the back of a normal one. I put that on the side charger, and even though it's got the carbine system, that's why they overgas. They make them short carbine length gas tubes, overgas. Normal ones bad, but on that side charger, because there's a huge hole in there. I show it in the videos whenever they get posted. It's probably why they overgas them a bit on the short ones. And it doesn't do too bad, but I'm still going to run like a H2 buffer in there to slow the action down, soften the recoil, tweak it till it runs right. But yeah, they're cool as shit. I've never had one. I remember years and years ago, I went to a gun show locally when they were bringing them out. And it's not like the one now. The first one's something that's screwed in there and you could reverse it, or I don't know if you could reverse it. You got to have a right hand and a left hand because they machine them. The receiver is a solid billet of aluminum. Pretty cool, you know. And that, but yeah, I kind of like it. You know, for what you're paying for, I guess that one I got the complete upper for well under 200 beans. Okay, you know. So am I. Thank you. You know, what was I gonna check here? Oh, okay. Let's see something real quick. Oh yeah. Do. Gotta correct something here, gentlemen. Okay. Straighten something out here and I'm good. Yeah, see, I can't do that. I got concrete all around. I can't cement them. Little less than an inch of just ice. See, I got a dusting of snow, and probably with that sleet that came, it's probably harder than a rock out there, but I don't intend on going anywhere the next few days. Neither me nor my wife, so we just sit inside. Maybe leave something out for the raccoons. No, I don't. I got a standard one and a 74 that I built from kits years ago. I had a bunch of them, but you know, what are you going to do with a bunch of the same rifle? Okay, like the Enfields. I had 5 or 6 of them, and I shot them. I shot a lot of rounds out of them. So when the price kind of went up on them, not like now, it's $500-600, a couple $100 or something. I sold them, made a few dollars, and used the money to buy something else. I mean, I wish I was wealthy enough just to accumulate everything and have a storage facility or another building and keep all the stuff I've owned over the years. But no, I just got a standard AK-74 and I think something else. That's about it. Yeah, they were a $300 gun at one time. You know, who knew? Gold was $400 an ounce once. I should have bought a ton of it and buried it in the yard. I'd be living pretty good right at the moment. All right, there he is. So, cold and ice and snow. Do you still got power in that? I was watching the storm chasers and I seen what the hell happened up there where you live, and I mean it was brutal. Starting in Memphis and all that, all the way up there. I guess they closed 40 down again. Did you get ice storms? I mean, that's the thing that we're nervous about. Ice storms, because we lose the power. Yeah, it did. Yep, 5 to 7K. Yeah. I wouldn't mind having one, but I'm a little short on 5. It's hard swallowing those $900,000 items. There was 5 to 7K. Yeah. And then try selling something like that unless you put it up on an auction. All right, good. I'm glad you got power, man. Did you get the ice up there? Oh, see, that's what we're nervous about. So far, I ain't got nothing. Okay, I guess he was telling me that Hickory got some ice. Asheville got a lot of ice. And the western part of the state down there, when you come down in the mountains, they got an ice storm. And I don't know if they recovered from the damn floods or whatever the hell's going on down there in that part of the neck of the woods. But we were nervous that we really weren't going to get snow. We were going to get an ice storm. And I lived through one of them in 2011. It ain't fun. We didn't have power for a week. All right, so you got more ice and snow accumulation. That's what everybody was nervous about here and prepared and shut everything down. Like I was telling them, I just ain't going to leave the house for the next few days anyway. It's supposed to rain. Let me check again here. See what the hell they're showing. It's showing a little bit of precipitation. Let me go to 2 p.m. See, by 2 p.m. it's going to clear. One. Yeah, now it's showing we really ain't going to get much of. Actually, 11 we're supposed to get another 30 minutes. I guess some rain. No, sorry for it's raining. If that's the case, let's see where. Okay, 10:30 now. Let me look up where you are. Yep, you're right in the middle of a rain. That band of rain is passing right over where you live. It's that reddish stuff. See, all we got is blue, which is more or less snow. The red is rain. Red and the purple is rain stuff. Yeah, that's what we're worried about. And yes, it's going to be below freezing for the next 2 weeks. So if stuff goes down, I don't think that ice is going away. See, that's the problem. And the roads here, once you get off the main roads, it's tough. You know, there are hills and angles and that if they're covered with ice, man, I don't care what you're driving, off you go. It's going to be tough to move around here for the next week or two. Yeah, I seen them. I seen all of them. You sent me like 3 or 4 of them. Uh, I watched them. They had one up north to where I used to live in New York. It was 60 cars and tractor trailers and everything, and it was bad. Okay, on both sides of the road, they're all just crunched up. It was terrible. And actually, back home, they're getting like 2, 3 feet of snow on top. But somebody from Rochester, or a couple guys from New York or Ohio, were saying it's a lake effect snow. Which they're prepared for that. I mean, I've lived through that 3, 4 foot of snow, slow you down for a day or two up there. Uh, but the ice is a SOB. That's what's going to trip you up. And like you said, it's going to be below freezing next couple weeks. Stuff ain't going to go nowhere. You know. Then if it did thaw out all of a sudden, then you're going to have flooding. You know. Oh yeah, you have them here too. We have some interesting truck drivers out loose on the roads here. That's the one thing these ice raids did is shut down 3 or 4. I mean, major shipping companies. You know, you're going to the range on Tuesday. I was there Thursday, and forget it. Um, you know, and it was warm. It was 40 degrees when I got there. Yeah, but nah, I ain't going nowhere this week. I doubt very much if I'm going to leave the house. This place. Yeah, I know that. I mean, nobody's even mentioned what happened up in the mountains. Them people you don't hear about. It was in the news, and then all of a sudden it stops. The one person I know whose parents live up there, uh, seen her father come downtown, and I guess she went up there for Christmas with them all. I guess they're okay and everything's running all right where they are. It wasn't that terrible. Uh, they got cut off for a while because the roads were impassable, but I don't believe their house and property and stuff was severely damaged or anything. Uh, but yeah, you don't hear about it, and I don't know. You know, who knows? But it's not good. Yes, load them. But yeah, so made it through this one so far. Got to wait and see what happens. After tomorrow, if nothing major happens by tomorrow morning, most of this first part of the storm should be gone. Let me check this thing again. We'll go to 10 days. This is different. Still, what the hell is this? Green, it's temperature. Tuesday. Tuesday looks cold, no precipitation. And then there's going to be snow. Saturday. Well, it looks clear. A little bit of something there, but it looks clear once we get through until Monday, tomorrow, and afterwards. Should be all right. The damage should be done. Okay, there's still people living in the shelters in the mountains. Okay, so somebody knows about it. Like I said, everybody stopped talking about it. No, you know. $650. Yeah. Yeah. Well, now was that 30 millimeter? Did you finally get that gun built, or is that one of the 20 millimeters you were shooting there? About $55 a yank on the trigger. I love it. Yeah, Jersey. I don't. That's why I was watching it. Yeah, where you guys are, it's Monday, Tuesday. It's gonna get up that way. You know, we're just trying to hope that we get through with no ice. Next 48 hours or so, we should be out of the woods. But I don't know about road condition. All right, you finally got that 30 mil done. All right. So it was a 20 mil. I remember seeing your. How much powder do you put in them damn things? I know you got drums of the stuff. I've seen how you resize them and reload them. That's always fun. Hold on a minute. At a 30, yeah, that's a 30 mil right there. M788, 30 millimeter TP. Got that from a Cobra pilot that retired after 30 years in the military, and he sold me some guns. That thing's recurrent on there. Maybe it was a light strike. Who the hell knows? Oh well, it's one of them things. Yeah, he had a bunch of stuff he gave me. Ended up like fired 50s, 150 grains of powder. Okay, 508 grains, 150 grams. I don't know the conversion right off. Oof, that can get expensive. Yeah, I owned one once. I sold it before I moved. Somebody made me an offer on it, and I needed cash to move. They're okay. They're nothing special. They're a nice little gun. I I kept it. They go for a lot more now than they did. Well, it was 20 some years ago. So everything goes for more than what it did. Yeah, I had one. It ain't very accurate. I mean, it's neat the way the barrel comes out of it and that. That's why I kind of got rid of it. TP, training purpose. Yeah, I know it's not an explosive, but I don't know if it was discharged or fired. That's what I was talking about. I think it's still full of powder. Yeah. How's it going, Derek? How is it up there where you are? So far so good here. Nothing disastrous weather-wise. We thought that we were going to get no power or nothing. I didn't know whether I'd be able to broadcast today. So let's see what else. You got some more. Overreact. All right, Maryland. Yeah, that's up there. Figured Maryland, they kind of, well, it happens every time, no matter where the hell you are. Even up in New York, they used to go berserk. Very nice guns. Okay. What are you talking about right now? "28 grams is an ounce." "150 grams." About 5 ounces of powder. That's pretty. That's a lot of powder. Third of a pound of powder. All right, we had a little bit of sleep, but it's about what we got, half inch down south of Greensboro. Wasn't bad. I guess it kind of split off and towards Durham, Raleigh, and southeast is getting freezing rain and stuff down there right at the moment. They're getting hit pretty hard. Let me look at it again. Well, it doesn't look like it now. See, all these weather things, this one's telling me something different than what the hell they had on the local news. The local news is showing me a different. Not really. You got to reload your own ammo for them, and don't use the light bullet. It don't work worth a crap. They make the bullets get the longer, heavier one, and I mean you got to barely seat that in there and balance the powder out. And well, if you remember, I think I got videos on how I did it. Ain't nothing special, but they're a pretty complicated item. Okay, with a lot of small pins and springs in it. And ammo's tough. They do function if you get the correct ammo. And that's about it. That's the reason nobody's made the ammunition for it. And I forget, I think I paid $1 for an empty case 15 years ago when I accumulated them. At one point in time, it's hard to find the cases too. They don't make them quite often. Oh. Yeah. Well, the guy had a whole assortment of stuff uh, that he accumulated. They were given to him over his time in the service. I guess he had them in the house, and he was leaving the country. So he was selling his gun collection off, and I forget where the hell he was going to move. I think Scotland for some friggin' reason. And he was moving to Scotland, and he couldn't take none of this with him. Actually, he gave me that 3/4 inch rocket that I used to have, or 2.5 inch to come out of the helipods. It was a smoke round. I had a damn rocket. He gave me a couple of these shells. The 30s, some 20s. I sold a bunch of them. The fired 50 cal and the belts. I sold all that. I mean, my wife won't let me hang it on the walls or nothing. Uh, yeah, he gave me a whole pile of stuff. It's not, but he flew the Cobras, and he must have been in one of them units. Because remember when we went up to the air show at the Charleston base? They had Cobras and they had the Warthogs there. So I remember that we were looking at how they loaded them, loaded the gun. We looked at the gun and all that other stuff. So that's just stuff he got from whoever. I guess his assortment of stuff that he had, souvenirs from his time in the service. But yeah, he gave me, this stuff he gave me. I think I bought two rifles from him. Bought one, and I went to buy the second one, and he goes, "Look, I'm moving. I told you I'm moving. I got all this." He goes, "You belong to a veterans post?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I'll give this to you. You can go put it on display there, put it in a display case or something." So, yeah. I mean, all of them are good. P-38's okay. Friggin' Browning high power. I got a couple of the British 38s. They're pretty cool to have, but if I had to carry one, probably be the high power, you know, or P-38. If I had to grab a 9, my grandfather told me they were all over the friggin' place, but the Germans caught you with it, they'd shoot you in the back of the head. So it really wasn't something you wanted to lug around. No, I haven't. My friend is working on some sort of device or weapon to shoot a 30 mil. Yep. Believe I got a video. I don't know if I got a video. Yeah, I do. Members video. Had to get the foreman dies. You got to form them. That one I don't believe is that difficult. And you got to have the Kropatschek dies. And 60. That's not too terrible of a case to make. But I don't know if RCBS makes the dies or the forming kits anymore. That's the problem. I don't know. Okay, German stuff has always been high. Okay, even 40 years ago, and it sells. Be the Luger P-38, KR-98s. Once the supply dried up by the 80s, 90s, and whatever they brought, the Russian captures and everything. But if you had original ones, They're in good shape. Those are the best. They still are. Those will sell. British guns got a lot of interest. The Swiss guns went up. It kind of leveled out. They're still trickling in, but who knows with them? You know, people want them, collect them, but you know, you never know. I remember people give you Japanese rifles. I used to buy them for $10 friggin'. Okay, and I had a whole stack of them. Never shot them because I couldn't afford the ammo. Cost me $20 for a box of ammunition when I paid $5, $10 for the gun. Okay, I ended up selling them all. I wish I kept them. I mean, I had a stack of them. Didn't even have $100 in all of them. Type 99s. And the bayonets for them. Yeah. So, uh, who knows? You know, AKs used to buy them for $300. They go for over $1,000 now. I have no idea. Just buy an assortment, put them up, leave them in the box. Just don't get caught by the feds. They'll think you're operating a thing without a dealer's license. Oh, the Geeds, a single shot. Yeah, that's 60. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can buy it. I know that one company makes it, but it's like they get $20 a damn case of Robinson or whatever. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be hard to find the dies in the Foreman thing unless you have made with what's his name there, CH4D. But last I heard, some stuff you may have it on the shelf if you call them, but some stuff it's 18 months backlog to get things done. Yeah, CH4D, tool and die. Where'd you get that? Yeah, I had one a long time ago. And actually mine was cut for the slot. It was a parts gun. During the war, they had them. And it was in good shape. The bore was slightly pitted. It shot well. That was a cool gun. But, you know, again, I sold it. All right, it was not special. I shot it an awful lot for years and I just wanted something else. Radums are cool guns. Now they'll go well over $1,000, you know, in any condition, in any type, you know, so there's a lot of guns I owned I don't have that before I ever started making YouTube videos. A lot of firearms went through my hands. Yeah, at Old Rose's department stores, there are guys here that used to buy them out of they put them in a barrel or something, and you pull them out. They didn't have that up in New York. They didn't have stuff like that. Tire Martini Henry. But yep. So yeah, things look fairly cool here for now. So I guess I don't know. Might make some more videos. Might just watch the TV and keep my fingers crossed that the ice or rain don't come, so I don't get screwed up. But I'll be indoors probably for days. Get caught up on some of my video making, so I'll keep going as it goes. Take a look here again. Yep, that one's gonna go. Viper for Obama. Yeah, the SA Star. Let's look for that. What's that? Can't find it. Are you talking about the Star 35s? They're a good gun. Internet purchases. Correct. That's the marking of the company, SA Star. The BMs are 9mm. Well, I see most everybody's staying put. The weather the way it is. Anybody been watching the SHOT Show videos? Catch anything they like? The only thing I seen was a couple models H&R is going to produce. I still haven't got that Caltech in the 5.7. I wanted to do a review on one of those. And when it came out last year, the $400 retail gun shot up to $700. I thought I had snagged one for about $4, and then they never sent it because they started selling them for $7. And they kind of got down at an MSRP, and then they dropped. They would have been with shipping and handling, and a little over $4, and I passed on a couple of the last sales. But I guess now they said they're selling them from a website. So you can order them directly from Caltech and there's no discount. So, and they got a new 380 pistol that works the same way. They're available. But if you buy that thing with the holster and the stripper clips and that, it's 5 beans or so, So I don't know. I like getting that 15 or whatever that 9mm was for a couple $100. You know, I kind of like that. Yeah, yeah, that's something. I went. They all got rotating barrels too. That's another interesting thing about it. The rotating barrel deal. My 81-year-old dad took. Oh, all right. That's good. Yeah, over 5 beans. Yep. Yep. But other than that, really, and that was the only other thing. I really ain't a fan of the 5.7. A, you kind of can't reload it. B, it's not exactly cheap as the 9 mil. I don't really think it outperforms a 9mm, even though they suggest that, but I don't believe so. And the one I had, I don't know, they're accurate guns, um, but I don't know. The old Grendels, yeah. All right, how did it go down there with the storm? Up here, I guess the western part of the state got ice. It's kind of raining and icy up in Tennessee right at the moment. I guess your state was supposed to get. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to just review it and test it like I do. Then usually I liquidate them, you know, once I've done them, because like the little short AR pistols for me, they really don't have any intent. I ain't gonna jump out of the vehicle with one. I got a regular size 9mm for that. You know, and then SAR pistols for 2 beans, okay, or even Stogers. You can't beat it. I don't know what it's going to be. Let me see if it held the $100 mark over the weekend. If they didn't try to, it doesn't seem to want to come up. It's only showing gold, live gold. Gold's almost at 5 grand, or 4,983. Silver's 103. Okay, so silver's held, and if that's the case, I have no idea. They're already talking about taxing you if you start selling precious metals, getting 1099s or 1090s. I don't know. I got to look into it. See, I don't really have a way of somebody picking up a large amount from me, like a local coin shop, just paying me out in cash. Gold hit 5K, yeah. I mean, now's the time. Sleet, okay. So you didn't get freezing rain and lose power and go berserk. Good. Yeah. See if you can get $100 an ounce. So that's the problem. Yeah, the Caltex, they're not a bad gun. I was thinking of getting one in the 32. They kind of had sales on them, but just never really did. They are a good concealable gun. That's one thing about it. Plus, they're hammer fired. Yeah, that's always cool. I can't remember. I think I had somebody had the sights break off on one. There was a 9 millimeter. I think it was a Caltech. Made a compact 9. I mean, long before they had Caltech. It was an older gun, and the sights broke off on it or something. And I went and found some replacement sights, put it on for my friend before he passed away. But yeah, you say so. I haven't had. I shot a friend of mine's 32 Tomcat. Okay, once a long time ago, for a pocket gun. It's it's okay, but Caltech don't. I never had one. Never. Might have fired that 9. I can't see. Uh, Say I did have a Caltech. The one I got, I like. Um, like I said, the 5.7, the Turkish one I had, I found somebody that really liked it. And the guy, he put a laser or something on the damn thing, and he goes to town. Thinks it's the greatest thing there ever was. But I was not impressed with it. You know, like I said, you can buy a 9 way cheaper, and the ammo's cheaper, and I would really trust a 9 more than a 5.7. I mean, yeah, at close range, you probably tear the piss out of whatever you shot. But I love the Tomcats. Yeah, I mean they're not cheap. They're like a $600. Beretta wasn't selling them this past year. They discounted them. You can get them, I guess, down to 5. It depends which one. They made some nicer ones, fancier ones with threaded barrels. Some of them are pretty cool looking, but they are not an inexpensive firearm. Put it to you that way. You know, they are not an inexpensive firearm, but Berettas are good. Caltech P32. Let me see what they go for. Ah, look at gun deals. Oh, 266, 264. The deals. 280. I think I got a. I think I have an account with them. Do. 280 in stock green. Yeah, so you can get one for about $3. 3 bills. Live inventory search. Ooh, you can get well, this ain't really. See what locked and loaded has. Just curious what you can get. You're looking at a 3C notes. Yeah, and the the dark earth ones are a little bit cheaper. I'd like a green one if I'd have to pay more for it. Let's see if Brass Pro Shop's got one. I might have enough credits on my credit card to go down and get one. Yeah, for gun commerce. Yeah, I think they said they stopped producing them. Like a lot of these companies, because the sales are so weak, they stopped making them. You know, they were popular. They were out there. You're getting into 1K there, but they're worth it. Okay. I've seen a few PPKs years ago that were brought back by veterans. It is a neat little gun. Um, but yeah, unfortunately they've gone like Colt retros or Colt anything civilian for the civilian market. Colt stopped producing, and I guess FN stopped. They say the SCARs, the SCARs, but I guess they got a new version or something. I don't know. They're $3,000. That should be all right. There you go. That's one. Thank you. Yes, that would be nice. I don't know if you can find the ammo. I sold mine and I sold all the ammo to go with it. I might. No, no, I think I sold it all. And it was extremely expensive when it was available. But the stuff was made in the 70s. There's a bunch of Russian surplus, but see now we hate them. And you know, things didn't work out too well. I think PPU makes it. Hold on a second. Oh, here, I'll tell you what to do. Go to AmmoSeek, do a search, put the caliber in, and I believe PPU still makes the correct ammunition for it, and it's reloadable and everything, and it's non-corrosive. They should still make it. I don't know. Like I said, I got rid of mine. All right, Carson, you take it easy now, buddy. Yeah, we were talking about that. And I still haven't gotten the one in 5.7. I really wanted to try that out. But you never know. Got to see. Got a lot of things coming up. It's some doctor bills to pay, and that, and my mild addiction to my retro guns has kind of dwindled my funds. Plus, I'm working with Bear Creek stuff. That stuff's pretty cool. I mean, some of that stuff people got and let me use it to test. So I ended up getting one upper receiver that I'm going to keep. And I might be tempted to get some other items from them just to keep content rolling because it's not a huge outlay of cash. But I really would like to get a couple of them. Ever since the old Smith & Wesson 22 Jet. I don't even know if they make the 22 Jet anymore. .22 Jet ammo. Let's look. Boom. PPU has it. That's 60 cents a round. That's 60, 70 cents a round. Yeah, you can get it. You can still get it. That was an old one, though. I remember reading about that in the Gunman. Yeah, like I just found 22 Jet there. So if it's available, go to AmmoSeek and they'll get you a listing on that. I have to get some 6.8 Remington special purpose. I didn't realize that Colt made a rifle chambered in that for the Saudi Arabian military. So that's probably why what's his name does it. I don't know about that. You got a search engine. 45 H&K Dang ammo. Is that the caseless stuff? Because I remember when they were doing that, they were experimenting with that caseless ammo. Yeah, I think they had the tooling for it. Okay, like the Carcano and that. The fact they were behind the Iron Curtain. And a lot of those guns were left behind after World War II. You know, plus they were part of Austria at one time, so you know, they even make 30 carbine, which we gave the Russians a boatload of them friggin' things. 45, the Lebel, all them old cartridges. That must have been a source for behind the Iron Curtain for years. And I think they're the last cartridge company in the world that makes 8mm Lebel brass and that. Or started making it again. Remington and Winchester did, but I think they stopped production back in the 50s or 60s. So yeah. It's not a bad gun. Once you get familiar with it and once you learn to shoot it, okay, it's pretty good for what it is. And if that's all you got, well, you best learn quick. Is that the caseless stuff? Or is it just I think what's his name did a thing on it. He did it on the caseless gun. H&K was developing them firearms. But yeah, that was the Europeans wanted that. They wanted some kind of, that's where you got the 5.7 was to penetrate that soft Kevlar armor we used to wear. We had them on a ship. Whenever the hell you had to go up there when they were shooting in that, you had them soft Kevlar vests. I think I got one from the surplus store or something once. Okay, so it was something, and that's where the when they're doing a development, one of the prerequisites of that weapon type was to have the 50 round magazine, which that's where the whatever 90 P90 or whatever the hell that thing was designed, and that's where we got the 5.7 from. .22 Jet, yeah. So I'm familiar with it. I remember 22 Jet was the cartridge, reading about it in gun magazines. But I didn't believe you'd still get it. You'd still get it. It's made by PPU also. Oh, well, all right. We're getting to our hour and a half limit. I get tired. Really don't want to drag on. I'd like to thank all of you for being there. I'm glad most of everyone has gotten through this winter disaster unscathed. People from my state and up in Tennessee still have power and are doing good. So that's one thing I'm glad about. And, you know, tune in next Sunday. If something does pop up, I'll throw another live up in the middle of the week if I have power in that, or if it looks like there's going to be more issues. But I will see everyone next Sunday, and thank you.